Nope, not gonna do it. I am not gonna buy the standard edition. I refuse to buy the standard edition. Let's dive into my top 5 reasons why. You're gonna want to stick around. It's not gonna be what you think.
Wow. I'm Warren Davis, and you're watching the Evercade Effect.
Evercade Effect.
Welcome to the Evercadians and rich enthusiasts. You're watching the Evercade Effect, and I'm with you, kill this 9. So let's go ahead and talk about why I'm not getting an EXP. Standard edition! Did you really think I wouldn't get an EXP at all? I know a lot of you know I went ahead and already ordered the limited edition, but this has come up on the social medias and the Discords and whatnot. I've been asked if I was getting the standard edition. Will I wait for the limited edition? And that answer is a big no! And I wanted to go through and talk about my 5 reasons as to why. So the first reason, this is by no means a make or break, is that the longer you do wait, we'll have those firmware updates. I know some people have had to go through some growing pains, while other people haven't experienced any issues, so it's, the longer you wait, Blaze should have more of these bugs ironed out. Although I did want to point out, I thought that was the initial reason why the EXP was delayed in the first place, and so when this did come out, we could have a lot of those things ironed out. Yes, it's been a little bit of a rocky start. Again, I would have been fine with that if I went ahead and got the limited edition, but it was something that I had to consider. We may even have a new UI. Who knows? Definitely just a benefit, really of waiting. So, now number 4, got cash. I've talked about this before, that I did use up a lot of my hardware budget on getting this guy a Steam Deck. Yeah! So it's really not in the cards right now to be able to go ahead and spend another $150 when I spent more than that on the limited edition. If a trackball or some other cool hardware does come out, yeah, I should have the budget for that. But I need to be using my money towards carts and other games and things like that. And so yeah, for me it just doesn't make sense to go ahead and plunk down another 150 beans for something that I'm already going to get, just to go ahead and get it sooner. While I already have other Evercade devices on that I can play games, and I'll talk about that here shortly. So yeah, that's my number 4 reason, of course, is the money. So let's go ahead and go to number 3, other devices. So I do have a Steam Deck, right there. I do have a PS4, I can play games on my PC, I have a Game Boy Advance, so yeah, I do have other devices to play games, and shocker, Evercade isn't my only means to play video games I get enjoyment from. I'm sure like a lot of you out there, you've got a Nintendo Switch, you've got a PS5, you got an Xbox, you also have other ways to play games. I'm sure having an Evercade device isn't your only way that you play modern or retro gaming. Yeah! So, should be no shocker that even though I am the Evercade Effect, I just don't play games on the Evercade, although it does greatly enhance my lifestyle in the way that I do play games, and I do love it. I'll be fine with all my other devices in the meantime. Plus, I'm still working on Cathedral. I'll do further ways to play Evercade. I will talk about that here shortly. Which does me bring to new carts. Yeah. So Blaze already, said, the VS of course is going to be compatible. It's going to have the similar firmware updates to the EXP. The OG handheld should be able to play all the new games. I'll still be able to play the new carts that are coming out. I'll be able to play Indie Heroes 2. As I talked about earlier, I'm still working on Cathedral. So it's not like I don't have any means to play any Evercade games at all. I'm perfectly fine still playing them on the VS or one of my handhelds here. It's not running a big problem because I'm starting to collect and get quite a few bits and pieces of hardware here that I was going to talk about in a moment. So with that said, I'm still going to wait on getting the Irem and Toplin collection, because if I blow through those, then to me getting the EXP, well, I'm very excited to get the limited edition. It'll make it that much more special that I can play those carts like a lot of you have out there for the first time on the EXP. I don't want to rob myself of that experience. So yeah, definitely I'll be able to play other new carts that come out this year. And so my number one reason is the Clutter. Yes! I mean, how many Evercades or handhelds does one need? I've got the purple. I've got the VS. I've got the OG handheld. I've got a Steam Deck, as I mentioned. I have all these other consoles, and I don't even have the standard edition of the VS, because for me, I don't collect variants. I don't have a need really to have all these extra devices. I know some people have passed on their older devices to family members, and if my kiddo was into retro gaming, I would definitely let her play, like the OG handheld and whatnot. So I don't need another EXP to do that. You know, there's also the VS, which we played on. And so at some point you have to ask yourself, well, what am I going to do with this extra device? You know, I still have to keep it charged. I'm going to have to keep a game in there so dust doesn't get on it. You know, yes, it comes with the game to do that. I know that sounds silly, but then it's like, I've got all this other stuff to dust off. What do I do with all this extra clutter? And so for me, I don't want to have all these devices that I don't use. Yes, I do enjoy collecting the different variants, you know, the Evercade hardware. I really just don't need another standard edition. The only reason why I would be ordering it now would be just to get it early. But to be honest, once I get it, it's just going to be gathering dust. And quite frankly, I wanted the limited edition. I wanted that to match my VS. Yeah! Because I just think that the black color is sexier, much cooler. And, you know, it'll match my Steam Deck. We'll all be one big happy family. I just can't wait. So yeah, that's probably my number one reason is I just really don't need the clutter. I just don't need another device that I have to mess with. Put somewhere, you know, to each their own. And if you've gone ahead and ordered the standard edition because you didn't want to wait for the limited edition, that's perfectly fine. If you didn't want the limited edition at all and you wanted the standard, you know, go ahead and put your comments in the below. I'd like to get a conversation going. I have much respect for whatever people do. It's your money. I'm not going to take away from your experience. I'm just saying, you know, what I'm doing here and what works out the best for my needs. And if you just happen to stumble upon this in the YouTube-verse, if you could please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. It really, really helps the channel out. This year in 2023, I have my goal to get to 1,000 subs. And while you're here, why don't you check out some other videos that I have on my channel. Go ahead and check out my secondary channel, Calling All Retro Gamers, that I do with Retro Rich, where we talk about everything retro related. Go ahead and I talk more about my Steam Deck on that channel. Rich has started a new arcade series. That's fantastic. So if you could please go ahead and subscribe to that channel and check it out. It would really help us out. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.